Today we're going to learn how to test a potentiometer, and so I have this jar of old potentiometers here. We're going to grab one out of here. So what is a potentiometer? It's a variable resistor. So when you turn the knob, the resistance changes. And if you look inside, or at the bottom, you can see there's a little wiper right inside there, a little wiper, and right now it's kind of touching against this terminal here, which means that the center terminal and this terminal should be very close to 0 ohms. So that's basically shorting these two terminals out. And then this one has the max resistance, because if you think about it, it's just a big resistor in a circle like this, and a wiper that travels along that resistor. So this one happens to be a dual potentiometer, so for instance left or right volume could be adjusted at the same time. So the way you test this is you set your DVM to the ohms range. And as always, I recommend that you buy very, very good probes. You can buy cheap ones, and that's what you get, is cheap measurements, poor continuity, incorrect resistance measurements, and things like that. So these probes, I think I spent $50 or $60, nice sharp needlepoint probes. So you can measure the total value of a potentiometer by going across the two outside terminals. So this one happens to measure 11K. So most likely this is a 10K potentiometer that measures actually 11K. And as I said, if you turn the knob all the way around, let's see, that'd be counterclockwise, you now basically have a short on these two terminals, and you have your maximum resistance on these two terminals. So then as you adjust this, of course, the resistance from the center to each terminal changes. Now there are two types of potentiometers. There's linear taper and there's audio taper. So linear taper, of course, the resistor is equal value all the way around, and so as you change this you get a completely linear or equal change in resistance. Audio taper, probably some sort of a logarithmic taper, which would make sense when you're talking about audio. A picture of the potentiometer, and you can see the inside sliders going along the resistive coating. One more thing I wanted to mention about these. This one, we are very lucky because it came with real hardware. Usually it'll come with 2 of these so that you can flush mount it to a panel. So 2 bolts and then a washer for the front panel front side, and then a lock washer on the front panel back side. So we're missing the other bolt and the lock washer, but that's what you should get. Another key feature to note is this little pin right here. So in days of old, we didn't have this pin, and you'd put these things in a panel and you'd start turning them back and forth, and you hit the stops, and all of a sudden the thing would start spinning. So now we have this little pin. So what happens is you drill a hole in your panel for the size of the shaft, and then you drill a little hole for the pin, depending on how you want this mounted. So once you have that pin in the hole, you lock it down, and then when you hit the stops, the pin will keep it from rotating. So